gentlemen, this is Vince Miller. Thank you so much for joining me for this devotional. We started a new book of the Bible. I hope you're loving it, the book of Daniel. It's got all kinds of great things to say to us as men in the times that we live today. In fact, I think today's devotional will be a little kick in the butt for you. I hope you enjoy it. But before we dive in, I want to encourage you to check out that link below. I just put it on the screen for you, but it's also below in the comments section. You can just kind of pick up this link, go straight to it today. Check out our men's retreat at the end of the fall, September 30th through October 2nd, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I would love for you to join us there. But right now, I'm really looking for some volunteers, just a couple of more, and maybe some ambassadors that want to share about this event to maybe the men in your church or men in churches in your area. If you want materials, all you got to do is click on that link. We'll send materials to you in whatever quantities you want so you can tell guys about this event. But with that, let's dive into the book of Daniel. Again, we're in Daniel chapter 1. I'm going to read verse 2, which seems like a repeat, but it's not. I'm going to read the latter part of it. It says, "And he brought them to the land of Shinar, to the house of his God, and placed the vessels in the treasury of his God." So, did you notice at the beginning of this verse, it starts with, and he, and he. So the question is, who is the he that's doing the bringing here? And well, the he that's doing the bringing is God, of course. As we noted 2 days ago in some previous verses, God was doing the giving over. Thus, we must conclude that he's also doing the bringing here. It was God who was giving Jehoiakim, Jerusalem, and the vessels over to an enemy nation and an enemy king. Now, Nebuchadnezzar may have felt like he was doing it, but Daniel didn't feel this way, nor did he retell the story this way. Do you know why? Because a redeemed man who lives his life directed by a biblical worldview knows that God is always behind all things. And guess what? He's comfortable with this idea. And then look at this. Look at where God brought them. He brought them to a place called Shinar. Do you know where this is? It's an infamous Old Testament location. You can read about it in Genesis chapter 11, verses 1 through 9. It's the location of the Tower of Babel. So think about this for a minute. God takes his people from the glory of the holy city and the location of the temple of God and brings them, takes them, delivers them into captivity inside of the impenetrable city of the Tower of Babel, also known as Babylonia, a city whose walls were 85 feet thick, 85 feet thick, stood 300 feet tall, and was encapsulated 60 miles around and protected by a giant moat on the outside, behind which God's people would be enslaved for the next 70 years. 70 years. Interesting, isn't it? Given the times that we live and the changes in our culture, don't you wonder how long it might be until God brings us into times just like these? I do. I don't know about you, but I do. Yet, in this change of circumstance we read about here, we learn two things. First, that God is always in control, regardless of the challenges we face. And second, he is looking for faithful men, irrespective of whether we live in Jerusalem or Babylonia. So the question I have for you today is this: are you that man? And do you trust in that kind of God? Or is your faith only in yourself, a season, a circumstance, a culture, or a political savior? Fellas, here's what we need to do today. We need to put all of our hope in God and nothing less. That's it. Just like Daniel is going to show us how to do it inside of the city of Babylonia, enslaved for 70 years. Fellas, I love you. Thank you so much for joining me for this devotional today. I hope it's blessed you or given you that proverbial kick in the butt today, spiritually. And I pray that you share it with someone else as well. And with that, I'll see you right back here again tomorrow.